All right, next on the card, we got Andre Petroski taking on Michael Gillmore. Petroski is a minus 560 favorite, with Gillmore coming back at plus 420. Plus 420, motherfuckers. It's a good number. Plus 420. I lost my train of thought. Fight doesn't go to decision. A massive minus 370. We are looking for a finish at 4-1 odds. Big Marley Marl. These are some tough participants from this season. Tell me what you learned.
See, Petroski was my original pick when I was just looking at the guys. He was my pick to win it because he's big, strong, has a really great beard. And then this Gillmore guy didn't even show up until halfway through the show when some guy left to an injury. He stepped in, got blown out of the water by Urbina. And it's like he sold Dana White really on his spot on this show because he said he quit his job. He moved out here hoping that somebody would get hurt on Tough and he would get a replacement. So he moved out to Las Vegas, and Dana just loved the story. Kicked the guy off the show, brought him in, and he just looked awful. I mean, his knees were all wrapped up. He's getting old. Like, he's not UFC ready at all.
He's a 34-year-old man. Like, he's a prospect.
And this Petroski guy is a good wrestler, and he's good on the ground. So, I mean, the most likely scenario here is he gets a takedown and the fight's over not too long afterwards, whether it's ground and pound or submission. He's just going to have his way with this guy on the ground. It's just that Petroski looks awful on the feet. There's zero volume. And his first fight, when I was like, all right, here's my winner. Let's see how it gets done. Like, there was not a strike thrown on his side for the first minute and a half of the fight, something like that. And he didn't even shoot for a takedown for a while. But when he finally did go for it, he got the finish quickly. And that's how I see this one going as well. Maybe it's not the 60 seconds because he's a little bit too cautious or something like that. But I think he gets it done in round one, and he makes it look super easy once that takedown actually happens. On the Gillmore side, it's just knockout or bust for him. He can maybe land that big shot while Petroski's like going on, while he's shooting for a takedown, something like that, or if he can just land it before he even shoots for the takedown. So I can't fade him because Petroski's striking is just that bad. But I really don't want too much Gillmore, and I want to be all over the Petroski side. He's my favorite play on the slate. Give me a round one submission from Petroski.
Big Marl, one thing that I've noticed in studying fights and looking over them is guys who get submitted again. Like, when you're a guy who gets submitted, it seems like that if you ever wanted just an easy MMA math to do, and everybody doesn't like MMA math except for me, I like math. I like everything about math. That's how I do things. My MMA math is dudes who get submitted. It's like every time Clay Guida fights a submission grappler, he gets submitted. Like, you just know he's getting subbed. Dude's been subbed 6 times. This guy hasn't fought very often, right? Michael Gillmore hasn't had a lot of fights, but when he has lost against shitty opponents, by the way, like a 0-0 guy, he got submitted. He got submitted 3 times in a row in his 3 losses. And that wasn't that long ago. His wins, again, against 2-3 and 1-1 opponents. So he must have done a number on Dana to get onto the show. And it doesn't sound like he won his way into this fight either. He kind of randomly defaulted his way into it. So, for that reason, of course, Petroski should come in here and he should be able to do the thing that he does, which is get a takedown and find a submission along the way. I expect him to do that. Again, Big Marl, the question is, can he last? Can Gillmore last a couple of rounds? Will this guy be nervous? It's the big lights. It's a crowd. Never seen him fight in UFC.
Yeah, he's definitely got gas tank issues. So if somehow Gillmore can last, 2 rounds, maybe he can finish him in the third. But I don't think he can last. Once he's on the ground, I don't think he knows what he's doing. To be honest with you,
very low level guys here. Very low level. So most likely Andre Petroski by submission. And let's just take a quick look at the Petroski by submission sub. So I don't mind this, Big Marl, plus 115.
I think the best bet in this fight is the under 1.5.
There we go. Or let's see, under 1.5 rounds, plus 110. So yeah.
No, that's the over, minus 140.
Over. Oh shit. Under minus 140. Oh, there we go. So, but those are numbers that you got to pay attention to just for the fantasy point of view of that. Under 1.5 rounds, or if you want to go with Petroski and have that extra leeway, Petroski by submission is interesting.
Yeah, my worry with that is that I could definitely see just a TKO stoppage as well. I mean, I wouldn't be against just taking a shot on the TKO and the submission because they're both plus money. It's like plus 240 and plus 410.
You think Petroski can knock him out?
Yeah, I think he does anything he wants on the ground with this guy.
Okay, so you're thinking maybe even a ground and pound win.
Yeah.
So maybe just go with the under. I like it. And if Gillmore,
if he loses, I think it's an early knockout, so you're covered both ways.
Or it's he gets gassed out, and then there is a path to the gassing out and the late knockout.
Yeah, I don't think Gillmore can survive a ground storm. There's no way he's going to make it to the third round.
There we go. I take it from the GOAT right here. I'm going to listen to him. I'm not going to argue with that.